Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Real Sports Live here in the beautiful city of Roma, Texas. As we are getting ready, we're about 10 minutes away from this big regional quarterfinal game between the Battle of the Bulldogs tonight. The Battle of the Bulldogs between the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs and the McAllen High School Bulldogs. Right now, the coaches, as you can see on your screen, they're talking about the ground rules, covering special situations, making sure that both coaches are aware of the game rules on this facility, because you are looking at two coaches that this is not where they usually play, although both teams on this path of the playoffs have played in Roma, and obviously they're still alive, so we know that Roma was a good place for them. Once again, welcome on behalf of Joe Bowling and the Real Sports family. We appreciate all of you out there. You still have enough time to call your friends and let them know if they can't make it to Roma, Texas. They have the opportunity on many different platforms to see this game. I'd like to introduce to you the umpires. Usually they don't get a lot of attention except when they make bad calls. That's when everybody boos them. And so let me go over the umpires. They are neutral umpires from the Austin chapter. We have behind the plate will be we have behind the plate Carl Holdren. Umpire first base will be Joe Hopkin. Umpire second base will be Chris Ellison. And the umpire at third base will be Michael Lefesti. Good luck to the umpires for this game. We know that last year, for those of you that might remember, especially the fans from the Laredo Alexander side and from the McAllen side, last year these two teams actually met in the same kind of environment. They met in this regional quarterfinals game, and McAllen High School won 2 games in a row and advanced. So we will have to take a look to see if that really plays into this ball game, because we know that for Laredo Alexander, the possibilities of being revenge-minded is definitely there. We'll keep a look at that. And we also know that the McAllen Bulldogs came into the playoffs ranked number 1 in the state, and that almost automatically serves as a motivator for the opponent. Coming into the playoffs, Laredo Alexander has had a easier path. Their first round opponent in by district was McAllen Rowe. They were scheduled to have a 3-game series. However, because of the rain in the Laredo area, that became a 1-game sudden death. And in that game, the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs came out on top 2-0 to advance into the second round. And the second round, Laredo Alexander came up against Brownsville Hanna, and Alexander swept that series 2-0. So the Bulldogs from Laredo Alexander in the playoffs are undefeated, 3 games. As for the McAllen Bulldogs, it has not been an easy road to get to this regional quarterfinal. The first round matchup in by district was Laredo United Longhorns, and they went back and forth, game 1, game 2, all the way to game 3, and that was a very tough ball game. But the Bulldogs from MCHI came up ahead 2-1 against Laredo United on a beautiful pitching performance that we got for the Bulldogs from McAllen, and I believe that was Robbie Maldonado. So the McAllen Bulldogs advanced to the second round, and they met up against the PSJA Bears. In the first game, the Bulldogs took control early, won that game, not a problem. But baseball is one of those sports that you put away your stats, you put away your winning records, you put away what happened the night before. The PSJA Bears actually, get this, the PSJA Bears actually 10-run ruled the MCHI Bulldogs in game 2. Game 3 was a classic. Back and forth, back and forth. PSJ Bears were on top, 1-0. Then in the top of the fourth inning, Nate Quintanilla, the catcher for the Bulldogs, hit a much-needed home run to tie the game and kind of swing the momentum on the Bulldog side. Then a couple of innings later, the same guy, Nate Quintanilla, made a couple of great defensive plays behind the plate to save a couple of runs to preserve the 1-1 lead. Then they got into the sixth inning, and guess what? Nate Quintanilla once again came up big as he hit his second home run of the afternoon to put the Bulldogs up 2-1. Well, so you would think that Nate Quintanilla, 2 home runs. He is the catcher behind the plate. He had already caught on a hot day at PSJA Stadium ballpark. Nate Quintanilla came back and actually finished the game as the pitcher and saved the game. So what a performance. I've been around the game of baseball for about 40 years. And if anybody has a better performance than that, I certainly would like to hear. So let me give you the starting lineups for each team, as right now the McAllen Bulldog players are being introduced, and they are going to be actually the home team in this game. I do want to remind everyone this is game 1 of the best of 3 series. Tomorrow, everybody will come back to Roma, Texas at noontime for game 2. And if a third game is needed, they will play 30 minutes after game 2. Here are the starting lineups. Let's begin with the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs. Leading off will be shortstop Joel Hinojosa, batting second baseman Louis Verreal. Pitching tonight will be Marcelo Perez, and we'll have to talk about Marcelo being the pitcher. Batting fourth and cleanup will be Paco Hernandez, the right fielder, to be followed by Albert Gonzalez, the left fielder. Then T.C. Chavez, playing first base, will bat number 6. T.C. Chavez comes in here with a hot bat. To be followed will be the designated hitter, Andres Santos. Andres will be as a DH for the center fielder, Benkis Ramirez. Then Sergio Galvan, third baseman, will bat, and the ninth batter will be Jorge Gonzalez. I will pause and bring you the MCHI Bulldog lineup after the playing of the national anthem.
The reason we made this Quesadillas Tres Marias is because there's a little village in Mexico that it's really popular and it's known for its quesadillas. You're gonna come to my kitchen and you're gonna see that we have no cans. Everything is fresh. We use achote. We do the mole ourselves. We have 3 types of quesadillas. One is flour tortilla. We have nixtamal made handmade tortilla, and our specialty, which are the fried tortillas. That's the concept we bring to the north of Mexico and south of Texas. For me, this is not only a business, you know, it's my house, it's my career, it's my family, it's my friends that come here. Brownsville, it's a gentle city, a kind city. I invite you to come discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
I opened Alex Roll with the intention to give people in Brownsville and those who visit us a very unique experience in the area of retail. We saw the need to give people a personal experience that only a boutique could provide. Here in Alex Roll, what we work for is searching for different pieces, textures we bring from India, from Mexico, trying to make this a different experience. The people to find treasures here in their own valley. It's a pleasure to welcome everybody and making them a part of our family. We invite you to discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
Never pay for the showroom. At Mi Casa Furniture, you can buy any of this furniture for 50% off retail. Think about it, 50% off retail at Mi Casa Furniture, 7533 Boca Chica, where you always buy for less.
And we're back in Roma, Texas, as we're almost a couple of minutes away from the first pitch in this regional quarterfinal game. At this time, let me go ahead and introduce you to the starting lineup for the MCHI Bulldogs. Leading off will be Rigo Moreno, center fielder, to be followed by Aaron Nixon, the shortstop, and then Abani Garcia, the pitcher. Cleanup man, and we already talked about him, Nate Quintanilla will be in the cleanup spot, to be followed by Robbie Maldonado, the left fielder. Then Hector Garcia will be in the DH role, batting for David Sosa, the second baseman. The bottom of the order will be led by Elijah West, a first baseman, to be followed by Chris Bernal Jr., a freshman. And I have him down in right field, to be followed by Gibi Mata, the third baseman. Would like to salute both coaches. For Laredo Alexander, we have a young coach in Coach Fernando Limas in his third year, doing a wonderful job in the traditional playoff ball club, the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs. And for those of you that don't know about Coach Eliseo Pompa, a legend in baseball coaching in the Rio Grande Valley, and this says it all. More than 700 victories. Congratulations to Coach Pompa. So, we are ready to go. Abani Garcia is finishing up his tosses. Now, Bonnie's a very experienced pitcher. He's had a great year, as he always has in the past couple of years. He is very much a very knowledgeable pitcher who has a great catcher calling behind the plate. Garcia has a lot of experience in the playoffs. Actually, he did beat the Alexander Bulldogs last year in one of the ball games. And here are some of the stats coming into this game for Abani Garcia. He is undefeated, 8-0. Coming in here with a 1.3 earned run average. Those are big time, great stats. So we're about a minute away from the first pitch. Leading off for the Bulldogs from Alexander, and I'm going to have to remember that I'm going to have to do a lot of reference to Laredo, Alexander, and MCHI, because if I forget and I say the Bulldogs, great play, you won't know who I'm speaking about. I would like to also thank Nathan, who will be leading the charge up here with the camera and the computers. And we have a statistician joining me, longtime baseball umpire, Humberto Bert Lozano, up here helping me out with spotting and stats. My name is Mario Reina. It is a privilege to be here on behalf of RealSportsLive.com, bringing you this regional quarterfinal. So we're off to the races here. First batter, Joel Hinojosa. Swung and a miss. Strike one. You have to believe that the batters for Alexander know that Abani Garcia will be coming out throwing strikes. So Joel Hinojosa, the shortstop, he came up swinging. One strike. And that's called the ball. 1-1 on Joel Hinojosa, to be followed by Louis Berreal and pitcher Marcelo Perez. It's interesting that both pitchers for both teams are the third batters on the team. And there's a foul ball down the left field line. That makes the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's what makes Abani Garcia. That's the reason he has a 1.33 earned run average, is because he doesn't hurt himself. He comes out throwing strikes. He allows his defense to make the plays. He won't walk too many batters. He stays ahead of the count. And that is what makes Abani Garcia a very difficult pitcher to score runs on. Abani And that's the way that we know Bonnie Garcia likes to start, with a strikeout. Anytime you strike out the leadoff man on a team, that sends a message to the team, because all leadoff men usually have a good eye and they're able to make contact. But Joel Hinojosa strikes out for out number one, and now it's Luis Berreal, the second baseman. Off-speed pitch by Abani. Abani does have a pretty good fastball, but he has no problems using some change-ups and some curveballs to keep the batters off balance. Here's pitch number two, outside for a ball. 1-1. We got one out. We just started. We're in the top of the first inning. We're playing in Roma, Texas. The MCHI Bulldogs are the home team. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marcelo Perez on deck. And that ball looked a little low. That makes it 2 balls and 1 strike on Luis Berreal. We just started, top of the first inning. Second batter, Luis Berreal, second baseman for Laredo Alexander. And there's a strike. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Catching this afternoon, tonight's game is Nate Quintanilla. A second base, David Sosa. And guess what? Bonnie Garcia, 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts. And from up here in the press box, those were not overpowering fastballs. Those were real good. Looked like a curveball that was put right where it needed to be. So Abani coming in there with 2 strikeouts. And now Abani Garcia, the pitcher for the MCHI Bulldogs, is facing his counterpart pitcher, Marcelo Perez. Strike 1 on that one. Paco Hernandez, cleanup man, is on deck. And if he gets on base, then you got Albert Gonzalez, who's also a pitcher. And there's a ball up the middle for a base hit. Give Marcelo Perez a base hit on that. It wasn't hit hard. A body just could not get to the ball. And sometimes luck is great. So that puts the runner on first with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning for the Bulldogs from Laredo Alexander. We do have a courtesy runner. I didn't get who that was. Now batting Paco Hernandez with a runner on first. Albert Gonzalez on deck. Bonnie Garcia struck out Joel Hinojosa, struck out Luis Berreal. And there's a strike. One thing that you do have to be careful with Laredo Alexander is that they do have a lot of team speed, and they don't mind putting the pressure on the defense by running. So it'd be interesting to see if Coach Limas would challenge catcher Nate Quintanilla early. There's a foul ball. And quickly, Bonnie Garcia with 2 strikes. Exactly what a pitcher loves to do. You can almost, at this time with 2 strikes, you can use any of your pitches. We'll see if he wastes a pitch here. And he didn't. He just went after him. And guess what? 3 strikeouts. So in the top of the first inning for Laredo Alexander, they had 4 batters that came up, 3 that went down swinging, and they got 1 hit and 1 person left on base. So after a half a minute of play, Laredo Alexander 0, and the Bulldogs are coming to bat.
Never pay for the showroom. At Mi Casa Furniture, you can buy any of this furniture for 50% off retail. Think about it. 50% off retail at Mi Casa Furniture, 7533 Boca Chica, where you always buy for less.
And we're back in Roma, Texas. A big battle of the Bulldogs between the MCHI Bulldogs and the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs. At the top of the first inning, Bonnie Garcia, showing his experience, he came up with 3 strikeouts. Here's the lineup for the Bulldogs. Leading off will be Rigo Moreno, to be followed by Aaron Nixon, and then Bonnie Garcia. And if anybody gets on base, Nate Quintanilla. We'd like to thank everybody out there that you were not able to come to Roma, Texas, and you're joining us on a platform here with RealSportsLive.com. Make sure you tell your friends out there that I always get on it by going to Facebook, do a search for Real Sports Live, and then you can find this ball game. Send us a message. Let us know if you have any questions, and if we have time, we'll try to address you. So here's the first pitch by Perez. Ball down and away. Didn't look like Rigo was really worried about getting a strike. Just kind of putting the bat out there to see if Marco could come in there with a strike. Pitch number 2. And that looked like it was outside. So no strikes, 2 balls. On leadoff man, Rigo Moreno has a lot of speed. You need to keep him off the bases. He's very dangerous when he gets on the bases. And we got 3 balls. As Marcelo Perez, he is a very experienced pitcher, but I will tell you, he is not the ace of the staff. The ace of the staff is Alberto Gonzalez, and we'll probably see him tomorrow in game number 2. We're in the bottom of the first inning. First batter for the Bulldogs, Rigo Moreno. 0-0. And that's a ball outside. So Rigo Moreno leads off with a walk. And that brings up to the plate Aaron Nixon, the shortstop, getting back into the playoffs as we have a brief timeout. We'll be right back as Coach Limas is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. And we're back here in the bottom of the first set. Runner at first, Rigo Moreno. Aaron Nixon at the plate. Wondering if he's got the take sign since Perez has had problems. Perez comes in there with a strike. It was a good job early on by Laredo Alexander pitching coach coming out to try to settle down Marco Perez. And it kind of worked. Aaron Nixon had a big home run in the series against Laredo United in the 3rd game. Off-speed pitch by Perez on that one. That puts it at 2 strikes. Rigo Moreno began the inning, the bottom of the first for the Bulldogs, with a walk. 2 strikes. And he struck him out on a curveball. Well, I'll tell you what a difference it makes when a pitcher gets to that 2nd strike quickly. Advantage pitcher. Now coming up to bat for the Bulldogs, Abani Garcia. Abani, I have stats for him. He comes into this game batting .441, 41 hits, 28 RBIs, and does have 4 home runs. Dangerous batter, has had a good playoff run at the plate. And there's this high strike call by plate umpire, strike 1. Abani can do it all. He's the ace of the staff, but he is also the third batter, has had some big key hits in both playoff series. And there's an inside pitch that the Bulldog fans from McAllen certainly wasn't too happy about that. But that doesn't matter. It still goes as 2 strikes on this beautiful Gladiator Field scoreboard. 2 strikes. 1 out. Runner on first. And he struck him out. So that gives him 2 outs. And here comes Nate Quintanilla. The last 2 at-bats for Nate Quintanilla have been home runs. And from what I understand, there were different pitches that he hit home runs. One of them was a fastball, and the other one was a curveball. So what do you throw to Nate Quintanilla, Mr. Consistency all year long? And there's a foul ball. Nate Quintanilla coming into this game is batting .426. 43 hits, 36 RBIs, 3 home runs. And I'm getting these stats from Max Preps. And I'd like to apologize to the Laredo Alexander fans because their stats are not posted. So I really don't have that many stats for the Alexander Ball Club. There's a high and inside pitch, maybe a little message pitch. You know, pitch is not only about throwing balls to strikes. It's also about the psychology of the game. Sometimes you throw a pitch like that one a little bit inside, kind of just letting Abani Garcia know, hey, I'm right here. I'm Marco Perez. There goes Rigo Moreno. He's got that one. Stolen base for Rigo Moreno. But it is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Nate Quintanilla. Moreno stole the base. Catcher for Laredo Alexander, Jorge Gonzalez, couldn't get the ball out of the mitt. Runner second, 2 outs. All the outs so far in this game, the first 5 outs, have been strikeouts. So we'll see. That's going to be an indication of what kind of game we're going to have. Is it going to be a pitcher's ball game? Low-scoring game? We'll have to see. And there's an inside pitch. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes on Abani Garcia, who came out as a MCHI Bulldog pitcher. 3 strikeouts. And here's the pitch. Now that was a little tight pitch right there, and now the Laredo Alexander fans are saying, what was that? And that's the way it goes. We got a full count. Rigo Moreno has a pretty good lead at second base. Outfield playing deep. They know that Abani Garcia has a lot of doubles. There's a foul ball. Good hack by Abani Garcia. You know, when you look at it, you know you're going to have to pitch. You are the ace of the staff, but you know that you can help your cause when you're batting. That's what makes Abani Garcia a very dangerous player that has signed up to play. And they struck him out on a ball outside, and all the outs so far have been on strikeouts. So in the bottom of the first inning, the Bulldogs with no runs, no hits, 1 person left on base. So after 1 complete inning of play, I can just say it's the Bulldogs, no score.
The reason we made this quesadillas Tres Marias is because there's a little village in Mexico that it's really popular and it's known for its quesadillas. You're gonna come to my kitchen and you're gonna see that We have no cans. Everything is fresh. We use achote. We do the mole ourselves. We have 3 types of quesadillas. One is flour tortilla. We have nistamal made handmade tortilla. And our specialty, which are the fried tortillas. That's the concept we bring to the north of Mexico and south of Texas. For me, this is not only a business, you know, it's my house, it's my career, it's my family, it's my friends that come here. Brownsville, it's a
Worried about going to the dentist? Don't worry. It doesn't have to be that way. We know just how you feel. Sure, it can feel a little scary. Still no? Before you have time to worry, we'll get you taken care of fast and easy. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are here for you. Make an appointment online Monday through Friday and open late Tuesday and Thursday till 8 p.m.
And we're back here at Gladiator Field in Roma, Texas. Top of the second inning, no score. So far, it's a game dominated by the pitchers. Abani Garcia with 3 strikeouts. And matching Abani Garcia with 3 strikeouts himself is Marcelo Perez. There's another pitch that's real close, and fans are just, they're letting everybody know that they're here. Ball 1. Foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on number 7. Excuse me. That is number 23. Albert Gonzalez, who is a left fielder, playing in the 7th spot. Albert Gonzalez is the ace of the staff. And I can hear the fans over here like, what do you want, Blue? A tight pitch on the inside. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike on Albert Gonzalez, to be followed by the hot-hitting TC Chavez. There's a strike on a swing. After Chavez, the designated hitter, Andres Santos, will be the 3rd batter in this inning. We're at the top of the 2nd inning. No score. So far, each team has had 1 base runner. In the 1st inning, Rigo Moreno on a walk, and Marcelo Perez got a base hit. 2 balls, 2 strike. The Bulldog defense, as Nate Quintanilla goes out to talk to Abani Garcia. The Bulldog defense at 3rd base, Gibi Mata. Shortstop, Aaron Nixon. David Sosa at 2nd. And playing first base, Elijah West. In left field, Robbie Maldonado. Center fielder, Rigo Moreno. And in right field, Chris Bernal Jr. So we got a 2 balls and 2 strike. And a fastball right down the pipe for a called strike 3. And I think in the way it looked, Albert Gonzalez was expecting an off-speed pitch, and he got a fastball. So that is strikeout number 4 for Abani Garcia. Now batting TC Chavez. Here's a pitch. Nice curveball. Wow, you can see it from way over here. I do want to tell our audience that I know that are requesting if we can show a little bit more of the game, but that wasn't the agreement by the coaches. Just to let you know, the agreement was the coaches was to show you exactly what you're seeing on the screen. So that's all you're going to see, folks. Once again, want to make an announcement. We would love to show you a little bit more about the game, but when the coaches decide that this is the agreement they made with Real Sports Live, we're going to honor it, and we're just going to show you this camera angle. There's a fly ball to center field. Rigo Moreno's under it. And he's got out number 2 on a fly out to the center fielder. Now batting the designated hitter, number 24, Andres Santos. He's batting for Benkes Ramirez. And for those of you that are joining us for baseball for the first time, a designated hitter is like in the American League. The designated hitter is allowed to hit for any player that's on defense. He doesn't play defense. He only hits. He's hitting for Benkes Ramirez, the center fielder. And there's another pop-up that it looks like the first baseman is coming under it, but Quintanilla's there. Tough. Oh, that was tough. I could see it all the way that Nate Quintanilla was struggling. It was hard for him to get under it. And there's no way you can give him an error on that one. That was not an easy catch. And sometimes, I've been around the game of baseball. What do you think, Bert? Do you think the first baseman should have gotten that one, or the catcher? Bert Lozano's here, long-time baseball player and umpire for 40 years, so he'll be my guy here that will give me some advice. And we both agree that maybe it's easier for the first baseman. You have to remember the first baseman doesn't have any gear. So, but that was not an easy catch. See if that comes back to hurt Bonnie and the Bulldogs. Strike number 2. I know last night in a big game between the Edinburgh Vela and the Los Fresnos in a regional quarterfinal game over there, they could have gone out number 3 on a similar play, and they dropped it, and guess what? The hitter ended up hitting a 2-run homer, and that's why Los Fresnos won. There's a pop-up. Second baseman is under it. Trouble. And that will go down as a hit. That was trouble. I will have to tell you this. I know you can't see it on the screen, but that pop-up, as I was coming into this field, it is very windy. And I know that the ball, especially those high pop-ups, they're going to be trouble. The wind is coming in pretty strong from, it looks like the southeast. So that one's going to have to go in as a single. So we have 2 outs. Top of the second, runner on first. And now batting is Sergio Galvan, number 7, playing third base for Laredo Alexander. Would like to let you know that it is very windy out here. There's already been 2 pop-ups that maybe would have been caught in any other ordinary circumstances, but this time around, the wind definitely played a factor. And I've been told that that one is not going to be given a single. It's going to be scored as an error, and I disagree because that was not an easy ball to catch. So we'll see if Laredo Alexander shows some aggressiveness with the ball, 2 balls and 1 strike, some kind of hit and run, or nope, the runner staying put. Ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Well, that's a single for Sergio Galvan. That puts runners on first and second. So we'll see if those pop-ups are going to come back to haunt the Bulldogs. There's been 2 pop-ups that I believe the first one should have been caught. The second one, well, guess what? Maybe they heard me on the radio here, and now they went ahead and gave a single to the batter that I felt they should have given a single to on that pop-up that was very difficult to catch, and the wind came in. So that gives Laredo Alexander 2 base hits. So you have a runner on first and second, 3 hits now, and the batter is Jorge Gonzalez. Swung on and miss. Strike number 1. We're at the top of the second inning, no score. Here's a pitch. Oh, man, how do you hit that? I mean, it's hard on the batters to come up and facing Abani Garcia. He's got a pretty good fastball. And then he comes in there with some nasty off-speed pitches. So he's got 2 strikes. He has the 9th batter for the team, Jorge Gonzalez, at the plate. And that looked like it was a pitch with an intention to see if he could get Jorge Gonzalez to bite, make the batter think fastball, and we'll see if Abani Garcia comes in here with his off-speed pitch. Has been his strikeout pitch today. And that was a off-speed pitch, but a little low. So good job by Jorge Gonzalez to lay off of that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Real nice stop there by Nate Quintanilla. Make sure that that ball does not go to the backstop. Big pitch here early in the game. And it looked like there was a pitch that was pretty close to the strike zone. You were looking at almost all the defensive players for the Bulldogs already leaving, and it almost looked like the batter was getting ready to go to the dugout. The MCHI side of the Bulldog fans are really giving the plate umpire a hard time. So it's a full count. This puts the base runners at an advantage because they're going to get a couple of steps before they take off. And ball 4, a walk. You got to give credit to George Gonzalez. Abani Garcia had him on the ropes. Started with 2 strikes. And Jorge Gonzalez was patient. Lots of batters probably would have been aggressive. We're going to have the pitching coach for the MCHI Bulldogs come out and talk to Abani Garcia. We'll be right back.
The reason we made this quesadillas Tres Marias is because there's a little village in Mexico that it's really popular and it's known for its quesadillas. You're gonna come to my kitchen and you're gonna see that we have no cans. Everything is fresh. We use achote. We do the mole ourselves. We have 3 types of quesadillas. One is flour tortilla. We have nixtamal made handmade tortilla, and our specialty, which are the fried tortillas. That's the concept we bring to the north of Mexico and south of Texas. For me, this is not only a business, it's my house, it's my career, it's my family, it's my friends that come.
Here in the bottom of the 2nd, the MCHI Bulldogs in a tough situation, bases loaded, 2 outs. And another pitch real close to the strike zone. And that's one thing that Abani Garcia, he has to get to know the strike zone for the plate umpire. And right now it looks like most of the pitches, if they're not right down the pipe, that they're balls. So 1 ball, 1 strike. In the first inning, Joel Hinojosa struck out. He's 0 for 1. And there's a hit up the middle. That should bring in 2 runs. And 2 runs on a hit by Joel Hinojosa. So what a big hit right there by Joel Hinojosa after the first inning. He looked pretty bad as he was struck out, but he's redeemed himself with a base hit that has brought in 2 RBIs. I do want to tell you that I noticed that the pitcher was talking to the plate umpire, trying to figure him out and asking him, where do you want the pitch? Another great stop by Hinojosa, but it was too late. So the runner at second advances to third, while the runner at first, Joel Hinojosa, might have been celebrating his base hit. He should have been on second, but I'm pretty sure he'll probably take off on this pitch. So it's 1 ball on Louis Villarreal. Louis Villarreal in the top of the first inning struck out. He's 0 for 1. And an out at first base. What a great play by the second baseman. And that makes out number 3 on a ground ball to the second baseman to first. What a fantastic play on that one. Prevented a run from coming in. So in the bottom of, on the bottom of the second, on the top of the first inning, there was 2 runs. We got 2 hits. So after 1.5 innings of play, it's Laredo Alexander 2 and the Bulldogs nothing.
The reason we made this quesadillas Tres Marias is because there's a little village in Mexico that it's really popular and it's known for its quesadillas. You're gonna come to my kitchen and you're gonna see that we have no cans. Everything is fresh. We use achote. We do the mole ourselves. We have 3 types of quesadillas. One is flour tortilla. We have nixtamal made handmade tortilla, and our specialty, which are the fried tortillas. That's the concept we bring to the north of Mexico and south of Texas. For me, this is not only a business, you know, it's my house, it's my career, it's my family, it's my friends that come here. Brownsville, it's a gentle city, a kind city. I invite you to come discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
My name is Ruben Reyna. I have been a music instructor for 30 years. I want all you veterans to come and take free piano guitar lessons. Call me for more information.
Never pay for the showroom. At Mi Casa Furniture, you can buy any of this furniture for 50% off retail. Think about it. It's 50% off retail at Mi Casa Furniture, 7533 Boca Chica, where you always buy for less.
And we're back at Gladiator Field here in Roma, Texas. Laredo Alexander broke through with 2 runs in the top of the second, and we'll see what kind of response the MCHI Bulldogs have. Now batting, Robbie Maldonado, to be followed by DH Hector Garza and Elijah West. Marco Perez on the mound. There's another tight pitch called the ball. For ball 1. I would like to send out a shout out to some MCHI Bulldog fans, Mr. and Mrs. Juan and Alma Navarro, looking at this game with their lovely daughters. Forgot their names. I better not, because they probably won't be happy. We have Patty and Teresa. Count is a 1 ball, 1 strike. Nice high fastball by Perez. So Perez is now up 2 balls and 1 strike. We want to let everybody know that there was a discussion with the plate umpire by the MCHI Bulldog coaching staff trying to figure out the strike zone. And that's something that will happen because you have to remember this umpires are from the Austin area, and they could have a different type strike zone in that area that Valley pitchers and Laredo pitchers might not be used to. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foul ball. Robbie Maldonado at the plate. Hector Garcia, DH, to be followed by Elijah West. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Another foul ball. Defensively for Alexander, catching is Jorge Gonzalez. At third base, we have Sergio Galvan. Shortstop, Joel Hinojosa. Second base, Luis Berrial. At first base, TC Chavez. 2-2. See what Marco Perez brings down. And it's a high ball. In the outfield for Laredo Alexander, we have Albert Gonzalez in left, Binkis Ramirez in center, and Paco Hernandez in right field. We have a full count here. First batter in the inning for the Bulldogs. Another foul ball. Good job by Robbie Maldonado. Robbie Maldonado in the first series against Laredo against Laredo United did a fantastic job in the third game. He was actually the pitcher that pitched to Jim to get the MCHI Bulldogs to advance to the next level. And there's an outside pitch, another close pitch. Anytime you have a catcher holding on to the ball and trying to allow the plate umpire to see the ball, that's a message by the catcher sending it. I do want to say that at the end of the first inning, Los Fresnos is up 4-0 in Los Fresnos against Edinburgh Vela, and Edinburgh Vela has to have that game. They're down 1-0. So now batting, the designated hitter, Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia comes into this game with a .415 batting average, has 3 home runs, 22 hits, and 26 RBIs. Very capable power pitcher. Good eye by Hector Garcia on a high ball. Runner on first, Robbie Maldonado. Catcher for Laredo Alexander, Jorge Gonzalez, trying to settle down Marco Perez. And it could be because Marco wasn't happy with one of the pitches that was pretty close. So far, I'll just call it like I see it, and it looks like both pitchers are not too happy with the plate umpire. Runner first, Robbie Maldonado. Hector Garcia. And that's way outside for ball number 2. 2 balls and no strike. Runner on first. Bottom of the second. It's really important that after somebody gives you your first punch, you try to respond. You don't want to let a team gain the momentum. The Bulldogs from MCHI trying to respond. That's a high pitch. That's 3 balls. And, you know, getting back to how those 2 runs were scored, there were pop-ups. One that was a foul ball that I felt should have been caught. And the second one was a very difficult ball to catch because of the wind, and the second baseman was kind of playing deep, and he just never got under it. But both teams are playing under the same conditions. And that's ball 4, way inside. That's back-to-back walks by Marco Perez. Looks like the pitching coach is coming out for another visit. So we'll have a break in the action. We'll be right back.
Never pay for the showroom. At Mi Casa Furniture, you can buy any of this furniture for 50% off retail. Think about it. It's 50% off retail at Mi Casa Furniture, 7533 Boca Chica, where you always buy for less.
And we're back here in the bottom of the second. Runner on first and second. Now batting Elijah West. I don't think he will be bunting. Oh, yes, he is. Strike number 1. And the reason I didn't think he would be bunting, because Elijah comes across as a big kid that has a lot of power, and he did hit a big home run against Laredo United. Runner on first and second. We'll see if Coach Pompa will want Elijah to try to bunt again. And there's a swing and a miss for strike number 2. On deck, Chris Bernal, the right fielder, to be followed by Gibi Mata. Excellent opportunity for the MCHI Bulldogs. Now, we know the last time in the first inning after the pitching coach talked to Marco Perez, he came back strong, and we'll see if he does the same thing. Outside, good eye by West. And a good job by pitcher Marco Perez kind of wasting a pitch on that, trying to set up the batter. He's still up 2 strikes and a ball. Inside pitch makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on first and second. Runner at second got on a walk, Robbie Maldonado. And runner on first, Hector Garcia, also got on a walk. We thank everybody that's joining us on the platform for RealSportsLive.com on Facebook and different platforms. Good to have you here with us. And another strikeout by Marco Perez for out number 1. That brings up Chris Bernal, and the runners remain on first and second. You know, it looks like Marcelo Perez, the pitcher, and I apologize, I think I was calling him Marco. That's what I get for bad penmanship. But Marcelo, it looks like he gets stronger when he gets himself into a little jam. That's a ball outside for ball 1, 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Laredo Alexander scored 2 runs in the top of the second. They're in the lead, 2-0, as we are in the bottom of the second. Runner on first and second for the MCHI Bulldogs, batting Chris Bernal. Little dribbler to the second baseman. He's going to have to go to first base to get an out, and he does for out number 2. That's all second baseman could do on that play, but that does advance Robbie Maldonado to third and Hector Garcia to second. And this brings up the 9th batter in the lineup for the Bulldogs, number 8, the third baseman, Gibi Mata. I do want to shout out for Ceci Gonzalez Rivera. How about that, Ceci? How are things up there in Minnesota? You're cheering for your nephew, Albert, that's on the Alexander team. And there's a strike. Nice corner pitch right there by Marcelo. Strike 1 on Gibi Mata. That makes it a ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bulldogs trying to respond here in the bottom of the second. Have a good opportunity with runners on third and second. Gibi Mata at the plate. There's a foul ball. We absolutely appreciate your comments coming in through Facebook. We have a chance, we'll say hello to everybody that's letting us know, especially when I said that the pitcher's name was Marcelo. So see how much of an impact you have in this game. So an inside pitch, so that evens out the count. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the second, 2 runs by Alexander. And he struck him out for out number 3. So, for the Bulldogs from MCHI in that inning, they did have a couple of base runners, but those were on walks, so they have no runs, no hits, and 2 left on base. So after 2 complete innings of play, the MCHI Bulldogs 0, Alexander Bulldogs 2.
My name is Ruben Reyna. I have been a music instructor for 30 years. I want all you veterans to come and take free piano guitar lessons. Call me for more information.
my dad was sitting down at a Denny's with my sister. And Valley TV changed our lives. My dad was sitting down, and as he saw up while he was eating his breakfast, he saw me on TV. And at that point, he knew that he had.
And we're back here in the top of the third inning in Roma, Texas. Batting is the pitcher, Marcelo Perez. Marcelo at the plate, doing a great job pitching, getting out of some pitching jams. And there's a pop-up. Now, they've been in trouble before. They've been in trouble. This time, the third baseman was able to get under to get out number one. So Marcelo pops up to the third baseman. Out number one. Now batting, Paco Hernandez, to be followed by Albert Gonzalez. Let me take a look at who's out there sending us some shout-outs. How about Joe Garza saying, "Go Bulldogs"? Now, once again, I want to explain that they want us to zoom in on the cameras and have different angles. That is not the agreement that we have with both coaches. So the camera angle that you're getting is what you're going to get all night long. So that makes it 2 strikes on Paco Hernandez. In the first inning, Paco Hernandez struck out. Amani Garcia still pitching for the Bulldogs, trying to make himself comfortable with the strike zone tonight. Timeout was called. Once again, I want to tell all our, because we keep getting a couple of messages, and I like to let you know that, once again, the coaches have agreed to allow Real Sports Live to broadcast this game under the condition that the camera angle you're getting is what you will be getting all night long. So thank you for understanding, and we do appreciate our coaches, Coach Limas and Coach Pampas, for allowing us to do the broadcast of this game. And there's a strikeout. Since the ball bounced into the plate, Quintanilla has to throw to first base. That's out number 2. And for Amani Garcia, that is a strikeout number 5. Now batting, Albert Gonzalez, who will more than likely be the starting pitcher in game number 2 tomorrow. Albert Gonzalez in the first inning struck out. And there's a pitch by Amani Garcia for strike number 1. And there's another close pitch that you hear the oohs and ahs. And there's a more oohs and ahs. And just a facial expression by the pitcher tells you all. So 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the third. Strike 2 called. Makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like the wind has settled down a little bit, but the flag is still kind of blowing away, so anything up in the air is not going to be easy to catch. And that did come back to hurt the Bulldogs a little bit, because they could have made a couple of catches on pop-ups. It's a high pitch. Makes it full count. We know that the more pitches that a pitcher pitches, it gets them closer to their limit, to their pitching limit, which is 110 pitches, I believe. A foul ball. That was a good cut right there by Albert Gonzalez. We're here in the top of the third inning. The other factor that sometimes come into play is when the sun goes down and you still have daylight, sometimes the balls are hard to track. Here's a pitch. And that's called strike three for out number 3, 2 strikeouts in the innings. So in the top of the third inning for the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs, no runs, no hits, nobody left on base. So after 2.5 innings of play, it's the Bulldogs from Laredo Alexander 2, MCHI Bulldogs 0. We'll be right back.
My dad was sitting down at a Denny's with my sister, and Valley TV changed our lives. My dad was sitting down, and as he saw up while he was eating his breakfast, he saw me on TV, and at that point he knew that he had done right. It was a turning point in our relationship that is been nurtured ever since he saw that. It gave him a new perspective. He finally understood that I was making the right choices, and I was giving back to the community. And really at this time would really want to thank Valley TV for not only helping Las Brisas Boxing Club and the community, but in bonding me and my father back. And I'm forever grateful for Valley TV for that. Thank you, Valley TV.
And we're back here in Roma, Texas, Gladiator Field, bottom of the third inning. Laredo Alexander Bulldogs up 2-0. So far, Marcelo, the pitcher, Marcelo Perez, doing a great job as he comes in there with a close pitch. Marcelo so far has 5 strikeouts in 2 innings, and he has allowed no hits. Once again, we'd like to thank Real Sports Live for this opportunity to bring the game to all of you that were not able to make it to Gladiator Field. The Battle of the Bulldogs here in a regional semifinal game. High ball, that makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. In the first inning, Rigo Moreno began the game with a walk, and he was stranded at second. Rigo Moreno is a leadoff man for the Bulldogs. There's a swing foul ball. Waiting on deck is Aaron Nixon, to be followed by Abani Garcia and Nate Quintanilla. Those 3 guys all struck out in the first inning. Gotta give credit to Marcelo Perez for a fine job. He did have some runners on base, and he got out of the jam. High pitch. So that makes it a full count on leadoff man for the Bulldogs, Rigo Moreno, who comes in here with a fine .413 batting average, 38 hits, 30 RBIs, and a couple of home runs. And a high pitch, and Rigo Moreno did a good job to get on base right away on a base on ball, and that's his second walk of the game. Now coming up to bat is Aaron Nixon. So runner on first. Aaron Nixon struck out. They threw a lot of off-speed pitches to him. That was a close pitch. I know last night's announcer, Nathan, was saying, you got to take one for the team. What do you think, Nathan? I wouldn't want to say that because I'm not batting. I did umpire for 25 years, and I know how that baseball feels when you get hit. So ball inside. Runner first, Rigo Moreno. Ground ball up the middle, could be 2. And it is 2. Fine job by the shortstop to the second baseman to first. Double play. Just exactly what pitcher Perez needed for out number 2. Now batting the pitcher, Bunny Garcia, to be followed by Nate Quintanilla. Once again, we'd like to thank all our sponsors. I keep seeing them in between innings, and that's the only way that Real Sports Live can keep going and bringing in all these games. I understand there's already over 1 million minutes of action that RealSportsLive.com has brought to sports fans, not only in the Rio Grande Valley area, the Laredo area, San Antonio area, but all over the nation. Foul ball. We did hear earlier from a fan in the Minnesota area. If there's anybody out there listening to us, I know that yesterday at the Farson Juan Alamo complex, in a game between Edinburgh Vela and Los Fresnos, they had somebody from Japan that was tuning into the game. So we're here in the bottom of the third, 2-0, Laredo Alexander. Good cut by Abani Garcia, but came up with nothing. That makes it a ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the third inning. We still have a lot of light outside. The wind still seems to be coming in. Could be a factor in pop-ups. Low makes the count 2-2. Here we go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Looks like we're going to have a pop-up. This one right there. First baseman definitely under it. And he got it for out number 3. So in the bottom of the third inning, we had a walk, and it was wiped out by a double play. So for the Bulldogs, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. So after 3 complete innings of play, it is the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs 2, the MCHI Bulldogs 0. We'll be right back.
The reason we made this quesadillas Tres Marias is because there's a little village in Mexico that it's really popular and it's known for its quesadillas. You're gonna come to my kitchen and you're gonna see that we have no cans. Everything is fresh. We use achote. We do the mole ourselves. We have 3 types of quesadillas. One is flour tortilla. We have nixtamal made handmade tortilla, and our specialty, which are the fried tortillas. That's the concept we bring to the north of Mexico and south of Texas. For me, this is not only a business, you know, it's my house, it's my career, it's my family, it's my friends that come here. Brownsville, it's a gentle city, a kind city. I invite you to come discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
And we're back here in the top of the 4th inning in Roma, Texas, with the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs up 2-0. So far, the pitchers have done a wonderful job. And I tell you what, that sponsor from Brownsville, Marias, sometime if I'm ever in Brownsville, I'm going to make sure I go out there and stop by it. It looks very appealing from here. Amari Garcia doing a good job. He's got, so far in 3 innings, he comes in with 6 strikeouts. And it was just a couple of unusual circumstances where Laredo Alexander was able to score, but you do have to give credit to the Alexander when they needed a hit. It came from Joel Hinojosa where he got the 2 RBIs. So now batting is T.C. Chavez here in the top of the 4th inning. We want to bring to the attention that so far the Bulldogs have not had a hit. What a nice, nasty pitch right there on T.C. Chavez by Abani Garcia. In the second inning, T.C. Chavez flied out to the center fielder. He's coming in this game as a hot hitter in the playoffs. It's a pop-up. And the right fielder comes up, makes a good job on that catch for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. Now batting, the designated hitter, Andres Santos. And Andres Santos did get a base hit in the 2nd inning, and he also came around to score on that RBI by Joel Hinojosa, who did a wonderful job after in the 1st inning he struck out, but in the 2nd inning came back and got a hit. There's a strike call on Andres Santos, a designated hitter, batting for the center fielder, Benkis Ramirez. The pop up, back our way, and the umpire tries to throw a ball and he lost the ball. We're here in the top of the 4th inning. Laredo Alexander 2, MCHI 0. Alexander so far has 4 hits in this ball game. The Bulldogs have not managed to get a hit. And there's a no pitch. There was a timeout, so that pitch does not count. The count remains 2 strikes on Andres Santos. By having a designated hitter rule that allows an extra player to play, he gets to bat, but he does not play defense. And there's a ground ball to the 3rd baseman. He knocks it down. It's not going to get him at first base. That was a hard hit ball by Andres Santos, and he gets to first base. And that will be an error on the 3rd baseman. That's what the official scorekeeper here at Roma has given. Andres Santos gets on an error. Now betting, Sergio Galvan, the 3rd baseman, he also had a hit in the 2nd inning and came around to score. High pitch, ball 1. Anytime you have 2 teams playing here in this weekend in May, mid-May, you know you have 2 very good teams. And that's what you got here. Both of these teams have matched up before in this regional semifinal match. The Bulldogs have won on 2 occasions. But get this. Laredo Alexander is trying to get into the 4th round, I do believe for the 4th time in the last 5 years. Coach Limas is a product of Laredo Alexander. Played at Laredo Alexander, was coached by Mario Garcia. 1 ball, 1 strike, foul ball. And that makes the count 1-2. On Sergio Galvan to be followed by George Gonzalez. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 4th. Laredo 2. Laredo Alexander 2. MCHI has yet to score. Really important that Abadi Garcia tries to keep this game close. Especially the way Marcelo Perez is pitching. Outside. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. The inning began by T.C. Chavez flying out to right field. And then we had an error by the 3rd baseman. There's a hit. I think it's going to drop. What a fantastic catch. And that's going to get a double play. Wow. Beautiful catch in right field. And the fans from the McAllen Bulldogs are letting Chris Bernal know that he made a fantastic catch for out number 3. So in the top of the 4th inning, you have no runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. So after 3.5 innings to play, the score continues. Laredo Alexander 2, MCHI Bulldogs 0. We'll be right back.
The Harlingen Downtown District has a bit of everything, my friends, and here's an invitation for you to visit and experience a friendly environment with a taste of local business and a variety of shopping, dining, and entertainment throughout the year. Vintage shops loaded with collectibles from the past, dining that caters to all, boutiques, quilting, salons, live entertainment, and don't forget about market days on the first Saturday of each month on Jackson Street and Art Night the last Friday of the month. It's the Harlingen Downtown District, and the invitation is for you. Shop Downtown Harlingen.
My dad was sitting down at a Denny's with my sister, and Valley TV changed our lives. My dad was sitting down, and as he saw up while he was eating his breakfast, he saw me on TV, and at that point he knew that he had done right. It was a turning point in our relationship that is been nurtured ever since he saw that. It gave him a new perspective. He finally understood that I was making the right choices, and I was giving back to the community. And really at this time would really want to thank Valley TV for not only helping Las Brisas Boxing Club and the community, but in bonding me and my father back.
Is it still the same picture? I mean, yeah, you might want to turn on the lights. It's starting to get dark in here. And we're back here in Roma, Texas, and you can see the weather is now starting to be 78 degrees with a wind factor at about 16 miles per hour. So it's a pretty nice, beautiful evening out here in Roma, Texas. A couple of shout outs to Jake Berry, who's watching this game on Real Sports Live Facebook. We also appreciate the comments from someone named Larry Cantu, who says that even though the camera angles might not be the best, he's getting a good feel for the game. So thank you, Larry. Now batting, cleanup man for the Bulldogs, Nate Quintanilla, and it was in the fourth inning in the third game at the PSJ Series where Nate Quintanilla did his thing in our first home run. So you can, I bet you anything that Marcelo Perez, pitcher for Laredo Alexander, is very well aware of the scouting report of what Quintanilla did. But Perez did a good job on Quintanilla in the first inning as he struck him out in the first inning. So that's ball two balls and one strike on Nate Quintanilla. No hits so far by the MCHI Bulldogs. A low pitch 3. And you got to believe it looks like Marcelo, I was more concerned about him falling and slipping. He fell after the pitch. He seems to be doing okay, and that's why the coach for Laredo Alexander is out to see him to make sure he's doing okay. They're not checking on him out there because he's throwing balls or he's not doing a good job. It's more of a precautionary reason to be out there, and that does not count as an official trip because in a game of high school baseball, if you make 2 trips by the coach in the same inning, that means the pitcher can come out. They can stay. Okay, so actually the coach can go 3 times to the mound before you have to remove him. Here's a pitch, foul ball. So that's good to see that it was just an accident that he kind of fell and lost his balance. So that's good that Marcelo Perez, who's doing a fantastic job, came in there with a good pitch, and it's a full count on Nate Quintanilla. And what a nice pitch. Fastball. It looked like Nate Quintanilla could have been sitting expecting a curveball or some kind of off-speed pitch, and he was fooled. And give it to Marcelo Perez that he came and he challenged Nate Quintanilla. And that is strikeout number 6 by Marcelo. It's a foul ball. Aggressive batting by Robbie Maldonado in the third inning. Robbie Maldonado, after he had gone on a walk, he ended up at third, and he was stranded at third. So far, the Bulldogs have left 3 runners on base. So now the count's 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0. Laredo Alexander has 4 hits in this game. The MCHI Bulldogs have no hits. And there's a fly ball to center field. The center fielder's under it. Not a problem for out number 2 on a fly out by Robbie Maldonado to the center fielder for out number 2. That brings to the plate designated hitter number 24, Hector Garcia. He's a designated hitter batting for the second baseman, David Sosa. In the second inning, the only opportunity that the MCHI Bulldogs had as a rally, he actually walked, and he ended up at second base, was stranded at second. So we have 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. So far, no hits by the MCHI Bulldogs. Pitcher Marcelo Perez doing an outstanding job on the mound. And he's not messing around. He came in there with a pretty good fastball on the inside corner. Even if Hector Garcia would have gone on that, it would have been a hard pitch to hit. Foul ball. I have a guy named Ron Calderon. Says, good game, guys. Say hello to legendary Mr. Bert Lozano from Ronnie Calderon. I don't know where he gets the word legendary, but it's okay. We'll give it to Mr. Bert Lozano. Absolutely. Bert Lozano's been calling baseball for about 50 years. And that was a nice pitch, off-speed pitch. Had about 3 of the infielders for Laredo Alexander that were getting ready to go into the dugout to bat. But the umpire said, nope, that's not in my strike zone. That's going to be a ball, so that makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th. We're here in Roma, Texas, and congratulations to Roma Independent School District for a beautiful facility here called Gladiator Field. It's a ground ball to the shortstop. He's under it. Good throw to first for out number 3 on the 6-3 put out. So the no-hitter continues. So in the bottom of the 4th, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. After 4 complete innings of play, Laredo Alexander Bulldogs 2, McAllen High Bulldogs 0. We'll be right back.
I opened Alex Oral with the intention to give people in Brownsville and those who visit us a very unique experience in the area of retail. We saw the need to give people a personal experience that only a boutique could provide. Here in Alex and Raw, what we work for is searching for different pieces, textures we bring from India, from Mexico, trying to make this a different experience. The people to find treasures here in their own valley. It's a pleasure to welcome everybody and making them a part of our family. We invite you to discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
At Illuminations, we're a one-stop shop. We have all the lighting you need for your new home, outdoor lighting, ceiling fans, chandeliers. So when you're building your new home, we work well with your builder. We'll get your floor plans, or we'll walk the house if we need to, make sure all the light fixtures that you get are gonna work and are gonna look good together. Illuminations is a family-owned business. We've been in business for 17 years now. My parents actually were in the construction industry prior to opening the store, and it was during this time that they noticed a need for a store like ours, one that would provide the customer service that contractors and new homeowners.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Here in the 5th inning, top of the 5th. We have a ground ball to third. Great play. Will he get it at first? No way. That's a base hit. So you got to give Jorge Gonzalez a base hit on that one. We're here in the top of the 5th inning. Third baseman did a great job. Got to give credit there to the Bulldog third baseman. Gibby Mata did a fantastic job to get to the ball and prevent the ball actually to going to left field. But he just didn't have enough time to get up and make that throw at first. And he could be hurt because it looks like he landed on his elbow. But you got to give a hit to Jorge Gonzalez, who's the 9th batter in the order for Laredo Alexander. And he's done a good job in the 2nd inning. He actually got on a walk, so he's 1 for 1. Jorge Gonzalez will be at first base, and that brings the next batters for Laredo Alexander is going to be the top of the lineup. And you're going to look at Joel Hinojosa, who is 1 for 2, to be followed by Louis Verreal, who's 0 for 2, and Marcelo Perez, who's 1 for 2. And right now, if you had to pick an MVP on the Laredo side, the MVP is the pitcher, of course. He's done a great job, not allowed a hit, and that's Marcelo Perez. But as far as the offensive side, the MVP would be Joel Hinojosa. That hit in the 2nd inning brought in 2 runs. Leadoff man, Joel Hinojosa. Will he be bunting? He showed signs of bunting and took a strike. Strike number 1. You would think Coach Limas already up 2-0. If you can make it 3-0 the way Marcelo Perez is pitching, that would be a big run. He is showing bunt, and he does bunt. Beautiful bunt. Nothing that Bonnie can do but to throw to first. Got to get that out. Good play by Bonnie on getting Joel Hinojosa on the bunt for out number 1. But that does move up Jorge Gonzalez to 2nd. Louis Verreal now batting, struck out in the 1st. In the 2nd inning, he grounded out to the 2nd baseman. So that's a big runner at 2nd base, and we'll see how Bonnie Garcia, who's allowed 5 hits, has 5 strikeouts. There's a ground ball, is going to be trouble to 3rd base. Throw to first. Safe at first. There was a tag attempt at 3rd base that couldn't do it, so that's going to have to be a base hit on that situation right there for Louis. Not much the 3rd baseman could do that. So that puts now runners on 3rd and 1st, and this is a dangerous time for the MCHI Bulldogs. They're already down 2-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. Runners on 1st and 3rd with the pitcher Marcelo Perez coming up to bat. Marcelo got a single in the 1st inning, and in the 3rd inning he flied out to the 3rd baseman. The pressure's on the defense for the Bulldogs to execute. We got a strike on that one. Pretty much Coach Limas has the offensive playbook wide open. Runners on 1st and 3rd, no out. Bonnie Garcia trying to bear down. It's a very experienced pitcher. Marcelo Perez showing bunt. Swings. There's a pop-up to left. It looks like it's going to be deep enough for the player to tag up, and it is. There's no way they can get him at the plate. So a run comes in on a great job by Marcelo Perez to bring the run in for out number 1. RBI for Marcelo Perez. That makes it now 3-0. Louis Verreal remains at 1st. And that's how you play baseball, folks. Take advantage, making sure that you execute. And that's what Laredo Alexander has done so far tonight. And there's a ground ball to the shortstop, and it looks like a hard ball to get. And it was not an easy play for Aaron Nixon. I would think it's a play that he's made before. And that's probably going to be an error on that play. And that continues the inning, because if Nixon comes up with that ball, it was a hard hit ball, he probably would have had a great opportunity to get himself a double play. So now that's runners on first and second. Laredo Alexander has already scored 1 run. Now batting Albert Gonzalez. Albert Gonzalez has not had a good night at the plate. He's got 2 strikeouts, but don't worry about that, because Albert Gonzalez is the ace of the pitching staff, although Marcelo Perez looks like he's the ace tonight because he hasn't allowed a hit. There's a fly ball to center field, and that's out number 3. But Laredo Alexander does get 1 run in this inning, so after 4.5 innings to play, it's Laredo Alexander 3, the Bulldogs 0.
Worried about going to the dentist? Don't worry. It doesn't have to be that way. We know just how you feel. Sure, it can feel a little scary. Still no? Before you have time to worry, we'll get you taken care of fast and easy. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile. Our friendly and knowledgeable
Never pay for the showroom. At Mikasa Furniture, you can buy any of this furniture for 50% off retail. Think about it. 50% off retail at Mikasa Furniture, 7533 Boca Chica, where you always buy for less.
Welcome everybody back. All the live sports, realsportslive.com. Somebody's making me laugh up here. So we're going to the bottom of the 5th. The Bulldogs from MCHI needs to get things going, and they're going to have to start with the bottom of the order. Elijah West to be followed by Chris Bernal and Kibi Mata. Nobody on the MCHI side of the team have come up with any hits so far. Excellent pitching performance by Marcelo Perez. So we start off the bottom of the 5th with a ball. The MCHI Bulldogs, they need to get some base runners desperately, whether it's a walk or a break. They need to start getting it going. And there's a ball hit the right side. It's going to be foul. A little late on the swing there by Elijah West, and that tells me that pitcher Marcelo Perez still has some pretty good velocity. If the batters are not able to come up and they're fouling it out to the right field, that means that the batter is late on the swing. So it's one ball, 1 strike. I'd like to send out a shout out to McAllen City Commissioner, who's taking a look at the game on realsportslive.com, Facebook, JJ Zamora. That's a low pitch. Makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. So far in this game, in the 2nd inning, Elijah West struck out. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And that's an inside pitch. That makes it 3 balls and 1 strike. If there's any way Elijah West can get on the base, it'd be great. Defensively, West is playing first base. There's a ground ball to third. Good job by the third baseman. And that's an out. A very nice job by the third baseman on a throw out from third base to first. And the fans from Laredo Alexander are excited about that very good play. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Now batting, Chris Bernal Jr. And I got to give credit to Chris Bernal Jr. He made a great catch in right field to double up a runner earlier in this game that could have prevented more runs for the Laredo Alexander team, leading 3-0. Foul ball. Chris Bernal, only a freshman. You can bet that within the next 3 years, you're going to hear a lot about Chris Bernal Jr., and he'll be definitely playing at the next level, as well Nate Quintanilla, Aaron Nixon, Abani Garcia, and a few other MCHI Bulldogs. That's a long, long fly ball. It hit a pole down there somewhere, and the ball came back onto the field. So, with that in mind now, Chris Bernal is in the hole with 2 strikes. So far in this game, Marcelo Perez has 6 strikeouts, has not allowed a hit. And that's a hit baseman. So he'll have to go to first base on a hit baseman. And the coach from Coach Limas is coming out from Laredo. He feels like maybe the batter could have put his elbow into that. But you know what? It doesn't matter how you can get on base. When you are down 3-0, you need to try to get on base any way you can. And give credit to Chris Bernal. He took one for the team. So that puts Chris Bernal at first, but the no-hitter continues for Marcelo Perez. Runner on first, now batting. Gibi Mata back in the 2nd inning. Gibi Mata was one of the strikeouts, one of the 6 strikeouts by Marcelo Perez. Now, if Gibi Mata can get on base and then you go to the top of the lineup, things could change in this game. The Bulldogs are down 3-0. Bottom of the 5th. Outside pitch. Ball 1 by Gibi Mata. The Bulldogs started the playoffs ranked number 1 in the state. And I think after the 2 losses that they had, they dipped down to maybe 6. But they're still a top 10 team in state. Ball 2. Inside. And you can tell that, looks from up here that Marcelo Perez wanted that pitch. So a good job by the catcher, T.C. Chavez. Although he's 0 for 2, he's doing a great job of settling down Marcelo Perez. And the other thing, whoever's calling the pitches, they're doing a fantastic job for Laredo Alexander, because the MCHI Bulldog batters have not been able to figure out Marcelo Perez. And there's a strike. And that almost looked like the same pitch like the previous one, but I'm not the umpire, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And there's a ground ball to short. Looks like a double play, a flip to second, and a flip to first. Was not a good throw, or they probably would have had a double play. So Gibi Mata, good job on the hustle. That makes out number 2 for the Bulldogs, but the inning stays alive. And that brings up to the bat number 15, Rigo Moreno, the center fielder. And Rigo Moreno actually has had a pretty good night when you think about it. Even though the Bulldogs from MCHI have no base hits, he has actually been on base twice. He walked both times. So let's see what Rigo can do, and let's see if they can take advantage of the fact that Laredo Alexander looked like they were going to be able to get a double play on that hard ground ball, but they didn't. So there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Kimi Mata is at first. Something I've noted here is that there's not a lot of strikeouts by Marcelo Perez. He had 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. And then in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th so far, in those 3 innings, he's only had 1 strikeout. But maybe the MCHI Bulldog hitters have kind of figured him out. But they haven't been able to really get that solid aluminum bat on that ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Here's a pitch. Outside, good eye by Rigo Moreno. And that's why he's a leadoff man. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Perez looking into the catcher for his sign. Tough right-handed pitcher. And there's a strike. Looks like something that Marcelo Perez is doing very well. He's mixing up his pitches, mixing up his speed. Comes in with a fastball. He has a pretty good fastball that you have to respect, but his off-speed pitches are just as good. And he's keeping the batters off balance. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. Leadoff man Rigo Moreno. And he struck him out for out number 3. So for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the 5th, no runs, no hits, and 1 man left. After 5 complete innings of play, it's Laredo Alexander 3, MCHI 0.
The reason we made this quesadillas Tres Marias is because there's a little village in Mexico that it's really popular and it's known for its quesadillas. You're gonna come to my kitchen and you're gonna see that we have no cans. Everything is fresh. We use achote. We do the mole ourselves. We have 3 types of quesadillas. One is flour tortilla. We have nixtamal made handmade tortilla, and our specialty, which are the fried tortillas. That's the concept we bring to the north of Mexico and south of Texas. For me, this is not only a business, you know, it's my house, it's my career, it's my family, it's my friends that come here. Brownsville, it's a gentle city, a kind city. I invite you to come discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
I opened Alex Restaurant with the intention to give people in Brownsville and those who visit us a very unique experience in the area of retail. We saw the need to give people a personal experience that only a boutique could provide. Here in Alex Raw, what we work for is searching for different pieces, textures we bring from India, from Mexico, trying to make this a different experience. The people to find treasures here in their own valley. It's a pleasure to welcome everybody and making them a part of our family. We invite you to discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
Welcome back to this broadcast by Real Sports Live in Roma, Texas. We do have a couple of scores. Los Fresnos is leading Edinburgh Vela 4-2, and we know that if Los Fresnos wins that game, that series is over. And in softball, the San Benito Lady Greyhounds are down 3-0, and that is a one-game playoff winner-take-all with New Braunfels Canyon. So we start off the top of the sixth inning with T.C. Chavez. So far, he's 0 for 2 at the plate, But that doesn't matter because TC Chavez is one of those players that has been red hot, and he's helped the Laredo Alexander team being here because he came in here with lots of hits in the playoffs. So the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. And he swung on and missed. So far, Bonnie Garcia with 5 strikeouts in this game. It's 3-0. We're in the top of the 6th. Both pitchers, it's been a pitcher's duel. The difference in the game is that Marcelo Perez is not allowed a single at all. And when it was time to get that big hit back in the 2nd inning, shortstop Joel Hinojosa, who's also doing a great job defensively, came up with a big key hit to bring in 2 RBIs. And Manny Garcia with a strikeout. That is strikeout number 6 for Manny Garcia, and that brings to the plate designated hitter Andres Santos. Santos came up with a hit in the 1st inning and got on the base in the 4th inning on an error. He's 1 for 2. And in that inning where Alexander scored, foul ball, in that inning where Alexander scored, which was the 2nd inning, the inning began with a strikeout and a fly out to the center fielder. And then Andres Santos started the inning with a hit, and then another hit by Sergio Galvan, a base on balls, and then Joel Hinojosa with a big base hit. Those are the first 2 runs of the game by Laredo Alexander. So ground ball to third, foul ball. Makes it an 0-2 count on Andres Santos. And I hear the chants out there. We have a pretty good crowd. And they're saying, let's go Bulldogs. So I don't know who they're cheering for because both teams are Bulldogs. Now I hear the chant, let's go MCHI. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Batter asked for timeout. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. It's been a pitcher's duel all the way, and that's what we expected. Ball outside. Manny Garcia trying to see if TC Chavez Andres Santos would bite on that, and he didn't. So give Santos credit for having a good eye and not being too anxious. Another foul ball on an inside curveball. Beautiful facility here in Roma, Texas, home of the Gladiators. They did a great job. I'm up here in the press box with our team, led by Nathan and the legendary Bert, who could have very easily been the umpire behind the plate here, but for some reason, many times when the Laredo schools play the Valley teams, they go with neutral umpires. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's a pitch by Bonnie Garcia. Oh, what a nasty pitch right there with a off-speed pitch. He had Andres Santos way out in front, and that's back-to-back strikeouts here in the top of the 6th by Bonnie Garcia. That's strikeout number 7. And now batting, Sergio Galvan. Sergio Galvan back in the important inning for Alexander. He got a base hit, and then he came around to score, and Joel Hinojosa's RBI single. Strike 1. On deck will be Jorge Gonzalez, who also has scored a run in this game. Inside pitch. Makes it 1-1. Due up in the bottom of the 6th for the MCHI Bulldogs will be the meat of the order. Aaron Nixon, Bonnie Garcia, and Nate Quintanilla. Another real nice slider type ball by Bonnie Garcia. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs on 2 strikeouts to begin the inning here in the top of the 6th inning. Outside. And once again, we appreciate that we're no longer, I don't think we're no longer getting requests about the camera angles. And we'll throw out a little bit of, a couple of camera angles, but when the pitch comes, we're supposed to show only the batter as per agreement by the school districts. And another K for a body, and that's K number 8. So in this inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. So after 5.5 innings to play, Laredo Alexander 3 and the MCHI Bulldogs have yet to score. We will be right back.
Good job. 86.
At Illuminations, we're a one-stop shop. We have all the lighting you need for your new home, outdoor lighting, ceiling fans, chandeliers. So when you're building your new home, we work well with your builder. We'll get your floor plans, or we'll walk the house if we need to, make sure all the light fixtures that you get are gonna work and are gonna look good together. Illuminations is a family-owned business. We've been in business for 17 years now. My parents actually were in the construction industry prior to opening the store, and it was during this time that they noticed a need for a store like ours, one that would provide the customer service that contractors and new homeowners are looking for, and eliminate the headaches that you might get when you're shopping at a big box store and you don't get that one-on-one customer service. The Brownsville area is really growing. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of construction, there's a lot of excitement. So we're glad that we finally have a store here that customers can come and look at our
And we're ready to go here in the bottom of the 6th. It's getting late for the MCHI Bulldogs, down 3-0. Aaron Nixon at the plate. He's 0 for 2. And that looks like a shot to right. And there goes the no-hitter for Marcelo Perez. And you got to give it up to Marcelo Perez. What a fantastic job he's done on the mound. He's got 7 strikeouts. That is pitch number 87. And the reason I'm telling you how many pitches he has is because the pitchers are limited to only 110 pitches. So maybe that's what the MCHI Bulldogs need. A soft hit to right field. You call that a looper, as per Bert Lozano. Now batting, Abani Garcia, who struck out in the first and flied out to the first baseman in the 3rd inning. There's a high pitch for ball 1. On deck is Nate Quintanilla, and this is baseball, folks. Last time against Farson Juan Alamo in a crucial game, Nate Quintanilla had 2 home runs, and so far in this game, he struck out twice. There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Abani Garcia being smart, trying to see if he can get on base any way he can to help his cause, as he is a pitcher. He himself has done a good job pitching, has 8 strikeouts. But he's been outdone a little bit by Marcelo Perez, only allowing 1 hit. And there's a long shot to center field. And a good job by the center fielder. Abani Garcia gave it a ride, but the wind could have been a factor there. I can almost tell you that if Abani Garcia would have pulled that ball to left field, it might have left the yard. So that's a long out. That's all he goes down as gave the MCHI Bulldog fans hope, because, it sounded very good even up here in the press box. Buddy Garcia did put a lot of aluminum onto that ball. And here's the pitch. And we'll see what Nate Quintanilla can do. Nate Quintanilla has done a great job all year. Came into this game batting .426 with 3 home runs and 36 RBIs. And he was more than just a hero in the last game. He's what you call a super hero. Did everything. Foul ball. So you gotta, once again, you gotta give a lot of credit to Marcelo Perez, because he's kept a lot of these hitters from the MCHI Bulldogs that are hitting over 400. He's kept them off balance. The only inning where the Bulldogs had an opportunity, they had runners on third and second, was in the second inning. And other than that, there haven't been a lot of base runners for the Bulldogs, because Marcelo Perez has done what a good pitcher does. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on first. Pop up. It looks like it's going to be where the shortstop has plenty of room, and he's got it for out number 2. So there's 2 outs. Now batting, Robbie Maldonado. Robbie Maldonado, I don't know who will be pitching tomorrow. It could be Robbie Maldonado, who was the second pitcher in game number 2 at PSJA, or it could be Aaron Nixon, who was pitcher number 2 in game against Laredo United. So now batting Robbie Maldonado. And Robbie Maldonado fly out to the outfield, and there's looks like an error by the right fielder, and we might have a run here for the Bulldogs. The throw to the plate is late. Aaron Nixon score. So the Bulldogs get their first run of the ball game. The right fielder looked like he had gotten under it. I'm going to ask my advisors here, what do you think? Is that an error or a hit?
No, that's a hit.
They're going to have to possibly give him a hit, and we'll see what the official scorer here gives them. And the reason you give him a hit, even though it hit the glove, is because left fielder really had to run a lot. So we'll see what they give Robbie Maldonado. But there's some life for the MCHI Bulldogs as Hector Garcia comes up to bat. Hector Garcia walked into second and grounded out to the shortstop in the 4th. That's a big run on second base. It'll be a momentum swing for sure. It definitely going into the 7th inning. If you can be down 1 run instead of 2, it's a huge, huge run. So we'll see what Hector Garcia can do. I'm going to have to ask Bert to find out if they gave him an error or a hit. I would judge that probably a hit, but I'm not the official scorekeeper. With that pitch, the pitch count for Perez is 94 pitches. He's still got plenty of pitches, at least to finish this inning. He's still got 16. And the reason I say that for everyone listening to us that might not know why I'm talking about the pitch count, it's because each pitcher has a limit of 110 pitches, and I really love that because you want to protect the arms of these young kids. So Bulldogs was run. A throw to third, and an out at third. So that, let me replay there was a ball that bounced in. The runner at second thought he could make it to third, and he was thrown out at third. So that makes it out number 3. But the Bulldogs did get a couple of hits, and they scored a run. So now, after 6 complete innings of play, MCHI Bulldogs 1, Laredo Alexander Bulldogs 3.
The reason we made this quesadillas Tres Marias is because there's a little village in Mexico that it's really popular and it's known for its quesadillas. You're gonna come to my kitchen and you're gonna see that we have no cans. Everything is fresh. We use achote. We do the mole ourselves. We have 3 types of quesadillas. One is flour tortilla. We have nixtamal made handmade tortilla. And our specialty, which are the fried tortillas, that's the concept we bring to the north of Mexico and south of Texas. For me, this is not only a business, it's my house, it's my career, it's my family, it's my friends that come here. Brownsville, it's a gentle city, a kind city. I invite you to come discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
And we're back here in the final inning. Unless we go into extra innings, we're up now at the top of the 7th inning. Laredo Alexander 3-1. So far, the Alexander Bulldogs have 3 runs on 6 hits. MCHI Bulldogs finally got on the hit side. They got 2 hits in the bottom of the 6th. It's 1 run and 2 hits. They do have 2 errors. Abani Garcia so far has 86 pitches. So he's got plenty to finish this inning. The last 3 batters Abani Garcia faced, he struck them out. So far he's got 8 strikeouts. Foul ball down there. It's going to be a foul ball. West going out there, and it lands foul ball. So now batting is Jorge Gonzalez. And Jorge Gonzalez walked in the 2nd inning. And in the 5th inning, he did get a base hit and was able to score that big 3rd run. And Jorge Gonzalez, also something to note, he is the catcher doing a fantastic job behind the plate. Foul ball. That makes it 2 strikes. We're the top of the 7th. The story of the game so far has to be on the pitching mound. The fantastic job on the Laredo Alexander side, where pitcher Marcelo Perez has done a fantastic job, has only allowed 2 hits, has a bunch of strikeouts, has kept the MCHI Bulldog powerful offensive machine off balance. There's a ground ball to the 3rd baseman to throw to first in time for out number 1. We got the first out of the top of the 7th. Out number 1. The other key to the game so far in recapping this game was in the 2nd inning, after 2 outs. Designated hitter Andres Santos got on base with a hit to be followed by Sergio Galvan, who's the ace batter. And he got on base too on a hit. And then Joel Hinojosa got a hit to bring in both runners in. And there's a shot to right field. Wow. What a nice catch on that shot for out number 2. Great job in left field by Robbie Maldonado. That looked like trouble. If he doesn't get that, you're looking at a triple for Joel Hinojosa. So now it brings up to the plate Luis Villarreal, who is 1 for 3 in this game. Takes a bunt for ball number 1. The 2nd inning, Luis Villarreal grounder to the 2nd baseman. Began the game with a strikeout, and then in the 5th inning, he got a base hit. 1 for 3. The count on the 2nd baseman, Luis Villarreal, is 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. 3-1. Laredo Alexander in the lead. Outside. And you can still hear the buzzing by the fans having a good time. Maybe because it's gotten a little bit chillier down there. Here's a pitch by Abani Garcia. Outside. Makes it 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs, 2 quick outs. With that pitch, that gives Abani Garcia 94 pitches. That was a high fastball that he blew by Luis Berreal. So you know that Amani Garcia still has a lot in his tank. He's pitched a pretty good ball game, but you got to give credit to Laredo Alexander that when they needed to get the clutch hits, they did. And there's a shot up the middle. Aaron Nixon's got it. Throw to first. We're out number 3. So on the top of the 7th, no runs, no hits, nobody left on base, no errors. So after 6.5 innings, we go to the bottom of the 7th as the MCHI Bulldogs have one chance here to see what they can do. Laredo Alexander 3, MCHI 1.
I opened Alex Restaurant with the intention to give people in Broadville and those who visit us a very unique experience in the area of retail. We saw the need to give people a personal experience that only a boutique could provide. Here in Alex and Raw, what we work for is searching for different pieces, textures we bring from India, from Mexico, trying to make this a different experience. The people to find treasures here in their own valley. It's a pleasure to welcome everybody and making them a part of our family. We invite you to discover Brownsville. You can't miss it.
The Harlingen Downtown District has a bit of everything, my friends, and here's an invitation for you to visit and experience a friendly environment with a taste of local business and a variety of shopping, dining, and entertainment throughout the year. Vintage shops loaded with collectibles from the past, dining that caters to all, boutiques, quilting, salons, live entertainment, and don't forget about market days on the first Saturday of each month on Jackson Street and Art Night the last Friday of the month. It's the Harlingen Downtown District, and the invitation is for you. Shop Downtown Harlingen.
Never pay for the showroom. At Mi Casa Furniture, you can buy any of this furniture for 50% off retail. Think about it. It's 50% off retail at Mi Casa.
So we have gotten here to the bottom of the 7th, Gladiator Field. We'd like to thank RealSportsLive.com for this opportunity to bring this game to those of you that cannot come. And we're also open to new sponsors. So here's the final chance for the MCHI Bulldogs, down 3-1, bottom of the 7th. We'll start off with Hector Garcia. As you know, he was at the plate when the runner at third was thrown out. And Marcelo Perez starts off with a strike. And make it strike 2. You can tell that Marcelo Perez on strike number or pitch number 97, he's not messing around. He's done a tremendous job all game long. Only allowed 2 hits. And he struck him out, and that almost looked like a high pitch, but you got to just protect at the plate. Out number 1. Now that brings up Elijah West. Elijah West struck out in the 2nd inning, and he grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2. On deck, Chris Bernal. 1 out. The MCHI Bulldogs are down to 2 outs. Ground ball to the 1st baseman for out number 2. So the Bulldogs are down to 1 final out. And I should say the MCHI Bulldogs, as a quick recap, without a doubt, the MVP of this game has to be the Laredo Alexander pitcher, Marcelo Perez. Done a tremendous job. He did not allow a hit through 5 innings. So down to the final out is Chris Bernal. He's 0 for 2, ground out to the shortstop. And then he also had another ground out in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2. Chris Bernal did a great job on a play earlier in the game that doubled up a runner. And you can tell now that pitcher Marcelo Perez is smelling victory. I mean, he's grabbing that ball quickly. He's not wasting any time. He knows that he is on tonight. And strike two. So far, Marcelo Perez with 8 strikeouts. I want to remind everyone that tomorrow, if you cannot make it out to Roma, Texas, game number 2 will start at 12 noon. If we have to go to game 3, it will start 30 minutes after game 2. 2 strikes. Will Chris Bernal finish with a strikeout? Nope. Good cut by Chris Bernal, just a freshman. Give credit also to the coaches from Laredo Alexander. There was a couple of innings where Marcelo, early on, Perez was struggling. And after the visits, he settled down and he was able to regain his composure. Came back strong, especially in that second inning where the MCHI Bulldogs got Robbie Maldonado on a walk, and then Hector Garcia got on a walk. They made a visit to him. He came back strong and got a strikeout, a ground out, and a strikeout, and that killed that inning. Here's a pitch. And Chris Bernal on a tough pitch, just hanging in there. And that's what good batters do. Bottom of the 7th, Laredo Alexander 3-1. They've come up with 6 hits. Also, let's not forget that Joel Hinojosa came up with a big hit in the second inning that brought in 2 RBIs. And he struck him out for strikeout number 9 for Chris Bernal, and that ends the game. Give credit to the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs tonight. They came out to play baseball, but we know that the MCHI Bulldogs in every series, in elimination games, they're still undefeated. So, the final score here in Roma, Texas, Gladiator Field, the Laredo Alexander Bulldogs 3, the MCHI Bulldogs 1. Want to remind everyone that tomorrow's game will be on realsportslive.com. The game will be at 12 noon. Once again, congratulations to Coach Limas and his Laredo Alexander Bulldogs. Congratulations to an outstanding pitching performance by Marcelo Perez. Unbelievable performance for him. Did not allow a hit until late in the game. Actually, it was not until Aaron Nixon came up with a hit in the 6th inning. And then the offensive player of the game for Laredo Alexander has to go to leadoff man Joel Hinojosa, that even after in the first inning he struck out, he came through in the second inning with runners on scoring position and with 2 outs, came up with a big hit for the first 2 runs. So for the crew here, Nathan, what's your last name, Nathan? I just know you as Nathan.
It's Nathaniel.
I'm sorry, I'm even blowing that game. That's Nathaniel Menchaca. Did a great job. Thank you, Nathaniel. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope you don't fire me for calling you with the wrong name. And the legendary legend from Mission, Bert Lozano. We hope all of you, if you make it out to this ball game tomorrow. If not, we'll see you again on realsportslive.com. Everybody, good night.